everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy cold Tuesday. I think it's cold everywhere right now.
Yep.
It is a cold snap. So I saw, negative 30. Sarah sells smalls. Oh,
Negative 30. Where do you live? In Antarctica? Jeez.
No. Like single digits is just a hard no for me.
I'll tell you, if you've never experienced temperatures like that, I did some work in North Dakota. I used to build cell phone towers, and negative 35 degrees every single day I was there. Plus, we were, 300 feet off the ground in the wind. It was freaking miserable.
No, just no. And and when people say like, oh, you're lucky. No, you choose where you live. I will tell every single one of you that. You all pick where you are staying. Okay. Yeah, it's snowing in Florida right now on the beach. If you guys have not seen
Florida, but apparently that won't work out for me. It's cold there too.
You got to move to like the Keys, like South Florida,
Just
like almost
get on
Cuba.
Cuba. That's what I was about to say. Just go to Cuba. Yep. You'll be straight.
Cuba, Bahamas, the Virgin Islands. Yeah, just no. Negative 25, but it warmed up to negative 8. Oh my gosh.
I think I might go way down to Kokomo.
Aruba, Jamaica. That was a good movie. All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. If you don't know, I am Kat. Dalton is in here talking. I am Kat, the nurse flipper. I'm joined by my co-host Rod, picking and punching. And both these guys have been on before. Below me is Shane from Soda City Flips. And Catty Corner is Alex Beard King Picker. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. And then we've got 3 super chats before we even started. So thank you guys for those. We'll get those right after these gentlemen tell you about themselves. So here is Shane.
What's up, y'all? My name's Shane. I am known around the reselling community as Soda City Flips. I also have a card ripping channel, Soda City Rips. This is the main channel, and as of November 15th, I have become a full-time reseller. I got let go from work, budget cuts, so I decided to give full-time reselling a go, and we're still hanging in there, so hopefully it works out. But yeah, thanks for having us on, Kat and Rod, for the second time. It was great last time. Looking forward to this show.
Perfect. Here is Alex.
What's up, guys? My name is Alex. I go by Beard King Picker on YouTube. Also, you can find me at the Reseller Locker Room every Thursday. I'm a full-time eBay and Amazon seller. I specialize in mostly books. I'm about 90% books, and eBay I do rare, vintage, and antiquarian books on eBay. And I've been full-time going on 5 to 6 years, I think.
All right. Let's see what we got as far as super chats. Hollyhock sent $1.99. Where's Gino? Now we need a snow super chat. I'm gonna give Holly the original one. I don't think I played that in a few weeks. Here you go. Super chat. All right, there are 2 more. Wolfman's Goodies says this is going to be it's always epic. I mean, sometimes it's a little more amusing than others, though. I will not lie.
Yeah, that's Chad. He's one of the supporters of my channel, Alex's channel, the Reseller Locker Room. He's kind of in our little small friend group. He's an awesome dude.
Yep.
Yeah, Chad's always in here every Tuesday. I see him, and then he's always commenting on my videos too. So I appreciate you as well. What should we give him, Rod?
Pillow fight.
Pillow
or
fight.
Dalton riding the Dalton riding the what was that one? The cartoon Dalton.
The dolphin. Which one is that? Oh, I see it. Here we go.
That kind of looked like Chad, right?
He's got Dalton has his headphones on, so if you hear him talking, that's what's going on. All right. My flipping banker said I had to leave Whatnot for about 90 days, and I'm struggling to get my audience back. I've scheduled consistent shows. What else would you recommend?
I really can't speak on that too much because I have recently, if you watch today's video, you already know this. I've given up on Whatnot. and moved to the district app. And that's been working for me so far. Whatnot for me is it was just difficult. I grew a pretty big following over there selling books. That's actually how I got started reselling. But I had been on the app for about a year buying books and kind of built a following just from being in people's shows and stuff. So I disappeared for about 6 months now, and the last show I ran was an all Stephen King book show, and I did almost $500. So I can't really say Stephen King's, you're going to make money every show. So I never disappeared and then came back and tried like my normal stuff. I was very niche down and author specific, and the show did really well. So I honestly don't really have any feedback there.
Yeah, I would have to say that I feel pretty unqualified to answer this because I've only done 3 eBay or whatnot shows at all. So I've never built any audience over there. So I can't really speak on this, unfortunately.
So one thing I did was when I had a time I was struggling bad on whatnot, no matter what I was doing, I just wasn't getting the audience, wasn't getting stuff in. And I had a following, small following on there. So what I did was I actually scheduled a free show where I gave everything away for free. Now let me say that with a disclaimer here. I do not recommend majority of people to do that. All right. But I scheduled 20 items or I didn't list anything. I just ran it and I just had fun with my audience. Free show. And I did it as a customer appreciation, giving back to the audience. All the items that I ran, they could have been $10, $20, $30 items. Stuff I picked up at garage sales or flea markets that I paid less than $5 per item. So for me, I was like, is it worth me spending $100 to try to build an audience or try to get my audience back to get these people going through? And I did 100. I had I think up to 150, 200 people at one point in time live during my show. But I gave away everything for free. It's a customer appreciation, giving back to the community. And then I scheduled multiple shows on there. And then actually when I was doing that, I threw in a couple items. I just ran as like, hey, you guys want this big item? Let's just throw it up for $1. You guys, I don't know if you guys watched this for a while, you guys would know. I used to have that giant boot in the background. It was a giant Ugg boot. It was like a 4-foot Ugg boot, what I had. And I actually ran that on a customer appreciation show for $1. You remember that? Yeah. So I had no idea. I was like, screw it. I'm going to throw it up there. It sold for like $50 or $60, which I was happy with. But it was a way for me just to kind of kick things started. And at the end of the day, I think my overall cost after shipping all the items, costs I had into the items, it was like between $100 and like $113 or something. And I was on for an hour. I had fun with the audience, but I had a bunch of shows scheduled. I had those shows scheduled for like 2-3 weeks in advance. And I told people, hey, go bookmark those shows. And I just promoted everything. And it was a good way to get back. So something you could potentially try. I don't recommend it for a lot of people, but it is something worth you can do.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm necessarily qualified either, even though I've done hundreds and hundreds of whatnot shows. I came back for one show and I did okay on that show. And I'm going to actually, as long as the weather holds up and my internet's good, I'm going to try and go live on District tomorrow on Knickknacks and sell some brooches. But I want to kind of point out what Shane said, and I really think this is true. He said he brought the Stephen King, which people want. And I think a lot of your audience is the popularity of what you're selling. And if you have really good stuff at good prices, people are going to come. Like, so for me, I think I was trying to do more and more shows, and the quality of what I was bringing was down. And so I kind of started losing some of my following. But I didn't feel I had the audience to just bring, like mid-tier jewelry, like $20, $30 starts when I'd been doing $2 and $3 starts. But I couldn't afford to sell $30 jewelry for $2. I lost money for a long time on whatnot, and I finally stopped. I do want to start back this year. I'm going to split it also between District and whatnot, and just see how it goes and try and decide. So for maybe ask me in another month. Once you see that I'm back on there. I like Rod's idea. If you have a following, like I think I have like 15,000 followers on Whatnot, so it's a pretty decent following. But I was still only getting like 40 to 50 people in a show. So just because you have followers doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to come in your shows. I would say if you have social media, if you have Instagram, you're here on YouTube, promote them. I know when I promoted, they did a lot better, but that was a lot more work, laying the stuff out to give a preview, talking about it. If you catalog stuff that I don't know if you're cataloging or not, cataloging might help people find it when they're searching for stuff. And it's not going to work for everybody. At some point you got to say this isn't worth my time and maybe try district. I don't know what you're selling, either knickknacks, there's commons, Dibdit. There's a lot of different district platforms that I think you're not going to have as much competition, and you're getting the benefit of whoever started that platform's followers to see you. And that might be a better route. All right. Whoa, Kat. All right. What am I doing? Oh, let's do the pillow fight this time since Rod said it last time. Here you go. And I think we got another super chat, and we're starting the night off with tons of super chats. Thank you guys for that. I really do appreciate it. Dragon Master's Fine sent $1.99 and said some of the best resellers all in one place. Thank you so much. I'm gonna do my whale. Oh. Sorry, who'd I interrupt? I heard
no, that
somebody
was me. I was just saying hey to Anthony. Dragon Master's Fine. That's it's one of my buddies.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. Okay, these questions started before noon to give you guys an idea.
Wow.
Okay, so this one's continued, so you guys have to pay attention. Okay, what advice do you have for someone who is great at setting goals with dates and keeping them? However, sometimes plans are interrupted due to health, so I can't meet the goals. So her goal was to start selling by February 1st, but she's been derailed by COVID. What are any cons to 5-day shipping? And do you believe buyers will actually read the shipping time, and any other advice for unplanned life events?
I think a lot of buyers probably do look at the shipping time because the world has been spoiled by Amazon, right? Free shipping, and it's like 1 or 2 day shipping now. So unfortunately, a lot of the buyers out there expect that kind of thing. So I think a 5-day handling time might hurt you, in my opinion. I know a lot of people do it, and even like if I go on vacation and stuff and I put my store on vacation mode, sometimes I've had people, cancel orders and stuff because they realize, oh, this dude's not even going to be home to ship my item for another 4 or 5 days. So they'll cancel. I hate you got COVID. I'm sorry for that. Hopefully that's gone or will be passing soon. But I mean, we're not always going to hit our goals either. So, some goals are going to have to be broken, and that's just part of life. I did not have a goal to be getting laid off in November and going full time. Anytime in the future, you can ask Alex, and he and I have discussed this a lot of times on the Reseller Locker Room podcast. I had no intentions of being a full-time reseller in the near future at all, like for years, and I was forced into it, and now I have set new goals as a full-time reseller that I may not hit, and that's fine. As long as you keep making those goals, I think strive to hit them, and if you can't, dust your shoulders off and do it, the next goal, set another date and try to hit it then. But as far as that shipping goes, I set mine to a 2-day handling time, and it's good enough for me. But if you need those extra couple of days, you do what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, 5 days shipping is definitely, I think, going to slow your sales down. But like Shane said, I mean, life happens. We set goals and, especially when I have little kids and they get sick, so I don't get to hit my listing goals for that day. And I just get up the next day and try to hit those goals, and that's all we can do really is just keep pushing forward. But for the 5 day shipping, I think your sales would probably be a little bit slower than they would be for a 2 day shipping. So that is going to be the con with the 5 day shipping. But hopefully most buyers will actually read the fine print to realize it's going to be 5 days. And I don't think sales will completely drop off because I've gone on vacation mode, but still accept offers and I still have decent, sales on eBay.
We're all human. Life happens. So we're all going to go through it. It's, you have to plan to be successful. You need to plan for success. And if you do 5 day shipping, I think you're going to hinder your sales, because on the bottom of each eBay listing, it says estimate time of arrival. So if you put 5 day handling, it's going to put it out a week or two later. And it's going to be this, they always go off the final number, that 5 day number. So they don't go off like you might ship it 1 day, 2 days. But if you ship day 5, their estimated shipping is going to be based off day 5. So that's, as me as a buyer, if I go in there and then today's Monday or today's Tuesday, and then I see it's not going to arrive to 2 weeks later, I'm not going to buy that item. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to get it right away, stuff like that. So keep that in mind. As setting goals, someone that has, if you know that you can't reach your goals by certain times. So one, setting a goal to start selling, you should just start selling whenever you can. And start selling. Don't put a date in place. Just the sooner you list items, the more chance you're going to sell. More than likely, you're going to list items that are probably not going to sell, because a lot of people that are starting to sell are going to list items that are going to probably sit up there for many, many weeks, months. And I know people that have stuff up there for years, Cat.
Yeah.
But I will say this. If you're the type of person that likes to set goals, I'm a person that likes to set goals. You should literally set goals daily, weekly, and monthly. And life does happen. So like for me, I'll give you an example. I set a sales goal. I want to list a minimum of 10 items per day and a minimum of $500 per day. Do I hit that every day? Absolutely not. But what's 7 days times 5 is 3,500. So by the end of the week, if I hit 3,500, it doesn't mean if I take 2 days off, then those other 2 days, I know I need to make up my extra days I can't list. And then, you know what? Maybe I get sick that week. Okay, well then I know that instead of doing $3,500 listing week 3 and 4, now I need to up that to maybe $4,200. I'm just using examples where I can try to spread it out over time. So by a lot of people set goals and then they feel like they fail and then they give up. So if you set goals, but look at it and take a different approach to it, you'll be able to achieve the goals in a different route, in a different way.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with Rod on like not setting the date for when you're going to start, because you could just like list one item a day and start, and kind of starting is the hardest part. And I think like a lot of people have like this frozen fear, like it's this big thing, and it doesn't really have to be. You can just list it
too. That's another thing they could do.
Right. Yeah. You could list drafts so that you've got those listings sitting there. So when you do feel ready, but you might not ever feel ready. That's the thing. I'm going to be like completely honest here. And I think anybody that's been watching me probably knows this. I push through everything. I have been live on this podcast with COVID. I have been falling down, like deathly ill, and I still get my stuff done. Not that everybody should do that or can do that, but I am like so stubborn and so hard-headed that I do. Now though, that was when I was doing it by myself. Now I have employees, so my shipping is getting done regardless of if I'm feeling bad or not. So for me, it's kind of a totally different situation. Yeah, no, Karen, I agree. You don't want to make yourself, and I have to make myself stop sometimes. And I was talking to Rod about this and a couple of my friends. I'm really going to push towards, hey, Mike, I'm really going to push towards taking the weekends off, which again, if you know me, people might be falling out of their chair right now. I really want to like enjoy doing things, and I've not done that for many, many years, and I want to do that. And there's nobody to tell me I can except me, you know, me thinking I need to constantly be doing. And I don't, you know, I can kind of reorganize and, you know, move things around. So as far as the 5-day shipping, I'm going to be with Rod and say that, and I actually had this conversation with my friend earlier today. She was willing to pay $14 more for something to get it 1 day sooner. And if it's something that you really need, I will pay more to get it faster. So I do think that having 5-day shipping is going to affect your sales. Because, and I saw a couple of people saying like that we live in an Amazon world. People are used to Prime. People are used to 2-day shipping. People are used to next day shipping. So when you get up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, they're not necessarily happy. Now, and are they going to read it? A lot of them might not. Those of us that are sellers are paying attention. Like I check the estimated delivery time when I buy something, but I think your typical buyer is probably not going to, and then they're going to get mad. And I've had people do that when I had time away, you know, and I was coming back. So it was like a 3, 4, 5 day handling, and they got mad that it hadn't shipped yet. And I'm like, hey, it said seller away at the top of the listing, like very boldly, until whatever date. But it's gonna, like, luckily, I will say you haven't started selling, because if you're feeling this bad and wouldn't be able to ship, that would put a big dent in your eBay store and could possibly put you below standard if you're not shipping out when you say you will. So that might be a good thing. I would think about like a friend or family member that might be able, Marsha's here, that might be able to ship for you. And because if you start selling like this and then you have this happen and you can't ship, you could like get your eBay canceled, especially if you're new. So if you're new and you're not meeting your shipping time, it could really, really negatively affect you. So Tiffany's saying 5-day shipping is too long. Can she put herself on vacation? She hasn't started. She hasn't started selling. But you don't want to promise what you can't do. So 5-day is what you're comfortable with. Do it. But do I think it'll affect your sales? Yes, I do. Unless you've got the only one of whatever it is and they have no choice but to wait, then you're going to get sales. But if you have stuff that other people have that are going to ship faster, they're going to get those sales. Look, Chad's sending me all of his money tonight.
I mean, you could approach it though too and have your listing lower than everyone. You know, I have 10-day shipping on
lower.
I have 10-day shipping on merchant fulfilled on Amazon, and I still get sales merchant fulfilled, and it's set to 10-day shipping and handling. And I'm still consistently getting sales, but I am the cheapest with that, you know, that item on Amazon. So there's that way to approach it too.
Yeah, that's true. So you're kind of offsetting that delay in shipping by enough of a price drop that they're willing to wait. No, that's a really, really good point.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
All right. Chad's helping out Matt again. ABC Matt 123, you guys. He needs a few more watch hours, so he's close to getting monetized. For those of you that don't know YouTube, we have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time before we can start putting ads on our channel to get paid for our videos. So definitely help Matt out. What do I want to do? I'm going to do Rod. I don't know if Mark's going to show up tonight, so we'll do Rod.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
Rod yells at me because I'm stealing it. I'll play the octopus next. I'll play my octopus one next. All right. Let's see.
Yeah, Matt's a good dude. Y'all go subscribe to Matt and check his
Matt
videos.
is really good. He does a lot for community. So
Yeah, he does.
I wasn't on your show last night, Shane, because we were actually recording with Matt. So he's going to be on the next Reseller Locker Room.
He told me, yeah. He told me.
All right. Flippin' Freetown says, how do you put a coupon or sale on your store with only the oldest items included and not the new stuff being listed?
You know what? I don't know if I've ever done that.
How do
I
you
I put coupons out all the time, but I usually do like category specific. So I don't know how to go by oldest. I don't even know if that, I'm assuming that's possible. I've never tried. I always do category specific sales and coupons.
I'm not sure. I think there would be something on the back end where you could pick oldest items, by date. I send off coupons, but I just send them off to all my buyers. Once they leave a review, I will send them a coupon. So I never done it that way either.
So for me, I've had an issue before when I was running a sale, and then anything I listed as the sale was going on went on sale.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. I don't know. Kat, do you know?
So I don't know about the coupons because I don't really use coupons that often. But for the sale, you can pick up to 2,000 items, like hand pick. And I have done that. I've got to like 1,600 and then I quit.
Wow.
I was like, okay, that's enough.
That's a lot of work.
Am I breaking up for you guys?
Nope.
No,
No.
good.
Okay. I'm breaking up. I'm like, I hear myself breaking up. So I have my custom SKU with like the month and the year it was listed. And so I'll go through and like only pick stuff that's a year or older. But if you choose all or you choose a category, it's going to pull in the new, or no, there's a box you can click that says exclude new listings. There is a box on the sale if you do by category, but that's going to be by category. That's not just going to get the oldest. But if you haven't ended and sold similar, which I have, so I cannot do this, you can sort your listings by the oldest one listed, and then you could click that whole page and keep going until you had gotten all of the ones that you wanted. If you haven't ended and sold similar. If anybody does the coupons and knows more about the coupons, I have not utilized them very much. All right, Miss Elena, which actually Elena and I went thrifting. This is my thrifting buddy. Her and I went thrifting all day today together. She wants to know, do you have a favorite thrift spot? And if so, what aspects make it your favorite spot?
Well, I'm in the Columbia, South Carolina area, and I have one Goodwill that is extremely overpriced on everything. But I absolutely love going there because they don't know a thing about golf clubs. So the golf clubs are like the cheapest thing in the store, and I make a killing every time I go there. Evan Flippin' McFlipperson, Josh, and Haley here from Harry Tornado are in my town, and I'm hoping they don't discover that store. I'm sure they go in there from time to time, but I find all the good clubs there. So that's my favorite. And then I love the flea markets, which if you guys watch Harry Tornado, you've seen the flea markets here. I love going there as well.
So I like my reselling with a little side of violence. So I go to the bins pretty much 90% of the time. I like that it's aggressive, and you could push and shove in there. No one, that's kind of expected when you go to a Goodwill bins. So I have been called the most aggressive person at the Goodwill bins too. So I'll take that honor.
For me, it's if I don't go to do a lot of thrift stores, but I like to go to church thrift stores. I always seem to do really good there. I find a lot of religious books, Bibles do sell really well. Also, though, too, I find that they do underprice a lot of items compared to like a normal thrift store.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah, mine kind of. Am I freezing?
You were there for a second.
Hold on. Let me try
Rod,
and switch it.
You can't be picking and punching at a church sale, Rod.
Well, that's why I just keep the picking part, and I see the punching part for the parking lot. All right. So.
I don't know why it's not. My phone Wi-Fi is not showing up.
Well, we can hear you perfectly. You're just a little blurry.
Oh, I can only hear like every third word you guys say. It's here. Hold on.
Technical difficulties, people. Just bear with us for 1 second. Kat is frozen, as always. So we're probably going to have to come back to this question here. Let's see here.
I'm back.
My screen's not blurry. I'm just really this ugly, guys.
My favorite thrift spot kind of changes, and I think Elena knows all of mine. Like the one we went to today is a little chain that once a month they do dollar clothes and 50% off the whole store. I will tell you guys, the first store we went to, Dalton let the cat in too. If you don't hear him, he's very loud. I bought 74 pieces of clothing at the first store we went to today.
Wow.
But a lot of them are going to go on commons. So I'm planning on doing commons and starting that soon. So a lot of those, like I got a lot of golf polos, and I got some really nice men's button ups too. And I'm going to lot those up. What? Okay.
If I stay alive.
I hope you stay alive too.
Me too.
You're not dying from rain, I promise. Pig, why did he let you in here? Okay. So I'll tell him when he comes. He went to get food. He always does this, and it's pouring rain, and it's 30-something degrees, and he has to have food. No, the cat is being. Do you see him? He's right. He's very loud. So like the sales, when they do, come here. I guess the cat thinks he's gonna die from the rain too. So when they do the sales, like I love our dollar thrift stores, and it's chains. It's not like necessarily a favorite spot. I think probably the Yankee Town, I'll tell it in case you guys are close. I don't get to go there very often, but it's a women's club, so everything's donated. They price everything very well, and they have nice stuff. It's kind of like a little waterfront town. So, there's some nicer stuff there. I think that one's probably, if I had to pick one, and I haven't been there. Show the cat. Here's Pig. Look, he looks thrilled, doesn't he? He's a pain in the butt. He's not fussing since I'm holding him. He sheds. I see hair flying. But it varies. Like, I don't know that there's any one thrift store that's like always good in our area. I like the sales. Like, know the sales. That would be my advice to you. Like Sheriff's Ranch here too. The colors, when they change the colors. I don't know if all the Goodwills, some of the Goodwills stopped the color tag thing. I think some of them still do it. But talk to them and find out when the thrift stores change the color and go the first day. So you're the first one that gets those new discounts. When we were in Birmingham, Alabama, I think it was Tuesdays they changed it, and they had 99-cent tag days of certain colors. I love thrifting in Birmingham, Alabama. If you're near there, there are some really good thrift stores there.
I would say this. I used to go to this hospice thrift store, and what I did one day is the ladies are super sweet there. They would take care of me, but all I did is I picked up a dozen donuts. I brought them to the store and I gave it to them. And then from there on, anytime I came in and said, "Hey, you guys, anything new?" "Yeah, let me go check the back for you." They would pull stuff out of the back for me every single time. So like taking the extra step, getting to know the employees there, talking to them, and just doing nice things for them.
You're alive. Okay.
People take care of the people that take care of them. That's all I'm going to say. So that stuff does go a long way. The cat. Let's do this question next, though, because I actually got to talk something about this.
Pet him, please. Thank you. All right. Senor Flipper says, I've been a part-time reseller for 3 years, and I'm considering attending the Boss Reseller Remix in March. Are any of you attending, and would you recommend it for a newer reseller?
I'm not attending this one. But I would recommend, if you get the opportunity to go to any of the reseller meetups, to go. I've been to 3 now, and I've had a blast. They're amazing. I met Rod at the very first one I ever went to down in Orlando. And then again, the next time I went to Florida. But yeah, well worth it. Never been to Boss, and I don't know if I'll ever make it to Boss. But definitely, if you have the opportunity, I say jump all over it.
Yeah, I'm not going to Boston. I've never been, so I can't talk about that one. Nashville is free. As far as, I mean, it depends on your financial situation. Like we did the 127, and for a business, it wasn't worth it for the financial that it cost for that weekend, but it was worth it for all the hanging out with friends. So it really depends on your financial thing. It could be a good decision or a bad decision when it comes to finances, depending on how far you are from the boss too.
So
I would get all the free content and learn online if you can first.
So me and Kat are actually speaking at the Boss Reseller Mix when it comes to this. I've been to multiple reselling meetups from just meetups that were not educational, they were more or less for the networking aspect of it. And then I've been to events that were educational focused where you would have networking and you get to meet and talk to other resellers, but then they also had like seminars or they also had speakers there that would specifically talk about certain topics and stuff like this. I spoke to what I think 2 or 3 of them now, and I will say they're worth their weight in gold. One is just for the networking aspect because reselling is very lonely. Getting to meet other resellers and like-minded people goes a long way. I know a lot of people that have met other resellers at these events are now that's their work buddies now. They talk on the phone, they mess each other great finds, they pick their brain. And a lot of these people are a wealth of knowledge. You may specialize in one category, but there may be 5 other people that are specialized in categories that you want to know. Now you have an instant person to reach out to and send pictures to when you come across items and find items. Also, too, at this, I would say tickets are still available. So if you guys are interested coming, you can come and meet me and Kat. We can answer any questions you may have. There's going to be a ton of good speakers there. And one last thing before I forget on this. They are actually doing a donation. They're raising money for the Blind Center in Las Vegas. If anyone is interested in donating any single item, send me a direct message on Instagram. I can send you the address. But they are taking donations. They're going to do a charity auction at that event to help raise money for them. So, but I would highly recommend. It's worth its weight in gold, especially if you're part-time and you want to learn more. It's a great educational event. Plus, it's Vegas, so you get to have a good time.
Right. Yeah, so like Rod said, both of us will be speaking. Also, Scott is going to be there. I'm super excited to see Cha-Ching King again. I haven't seen him. He spoke at my learning camp I did in Tennessee a few years back, and I haven't got to see him in person since. Dalton and Brooke both will be there. Both of the kids are coming with me to Vegas, so all 3 of us will be there. I would recommend it. I went to Boss last year. Rod and I also spoke and went to camp listing party last year in Phoenix. I'm going to agree with everybody. The networking and the nice thing financially, definitely make sure you can afford it, but know that it's a write-off, all of it, including your food and drinks while you're there. Those are also write-offs, which is nice. And they have so many different topics that you can learn about. And that's a nice thing about reselling. There's so many different ways to go about this that you can find a way that'll work for you. Like I hate retail arbitrage, but people make tons of money doing it. Just not my thing. So there will be people speaking on all different kinds of topics. I know like last year, and I haven't done it or enacted it, but like I really enjoyed like the consignment talk, just to learn like a little bit more information where if I ever did come across something that would fit into that, I, have that knowledge. But it's definitely like Rod and I met in South Carolina at the Prison to Profit convention, and he ended up here as my co-host not long after. So, I mean, you really never know who you are gonna meet and how that'll go. I don't think the gambling we can write off. I wish we could, but I don't think we can.
I've wondered about that because I go to the Kentucky Derby every year and we stay at the Southern Indiana Caesars Hotel and Casino. And I've wondered if I film while I'm at the casino, is any of that tax write-off?
So
I'm to ask my CPA.
You can actually write off the money you spend if you win money. So, for example, let's just say if you hit $1,000, but you spent $500, you can write off that $500 to win that $1,000. And you're only paying taxes on that $500.
Wow. Oh, that's good to know because I think
you can keep like, for example, like if you buy lottery tickets, you can save your ones that you spent, and that would deduct from your actual spending I'm not
Oh,
a tax.
wow. I think I have
I'm not a
6
tax
hand
specialist
pays,
here.
but-
I'm
I
just
gotta
putting it out
talk
there.
to my
Talk to
accountant
your-
before I go to
talk to your
Vegas.
accountant on doing
I
that
didn't-
before
I
you give
didn't-
my advice. But
Yeah, I didn't realize both of you guys were speaking at the boss, so I changed my answers. You definitely should go to the boss reselling remix. It's going to be worth all the money that it costs to go. You will learn
All
a
the
ton,
money.
all the money. But
It really is worth the money. Like I didn't speak last year. I just went and attended it. And it's not like the learning part is great. Like it's like a 50-50 thing, but so is the networking. And like we do events at night and meet at Container Park and they do like a bar crawl. It's fun. It's friggin' fun.
I
You
love
know, and
the
it's with
networking.
people-
Networking.
It's with people that do what you do. Like if you walked up to like a regular person and tried to talk to them about what we do, they're gonna like look at you like you're crazy, you know. But this, you're in an environment where you can talk about it with anybody around you and not get like, you know, some crazy look.
also, too,
Yeah.
you can go sourcing out there. I went sourcing in South Carolina. I went sourcing in North Carolina. I've been sourcing in Arizona when I went on these, these different conventions where I went out with people that I've never had picked with before and seeing the items they're buying. So that was actually really helpful. And you can also ship stuff back to you if you find something really good.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
the same thing when Alex and I went to Highway 127. None of us had ever even met, much less picked together. But man, we hit this one yard sale. I drove down there. We all drove, so we had plenty of space to load up our vehicles and drive back home with it. But we absolutely killed it at this one yard sale, and getting to experience that with my friends, that was amazing. Because if my wife and I go yard selling and I come across a jackpot, she could care less. She, you know what I mean? But these guys are going to get excited with you. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
that networking part of the meetups is everything to me. That was my favorite part about any meetup I've been to so far.
I was glad you guys were just there to help me carry all those books since I bought like 6 tubs of books.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, Eric had to carry a bunch of stuff for me, OBX picker, when we were in Cincinnati from a yard sale and help me carry it to my car.
Yeah.
And it's really cool too, I'll tell you guys. So like Cincinnati, when I went there, we went to yard sales. We went to the bins in South Carolina.
I forgot I went yard sale in Cincinnati when I was at the reseller rally.
The rally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's really neat to see like the different types of items that are in different parts of the country because it's not the same. It really is not. Like when we went thrifting in Phoenix, I found so many leather high quality purses. It was insane at like all of the thrift stores in Phoenix. And I'm like, I wish I could find this many leather purses in Florida. I don't. And it must be like the Southwest thing. But you find like, I mean, you're going to find some of the same stuff, but you're also going to find stuff that you're not going to find at home, which is the neat thing to see. And I know Vegas, I didn't go sourcing last time I was in Vegas. And I don't know if I will this time. We were too busy sightseeing. Like I took Dalton to the Children's Museum and we went to Red Rock Canyon and Hoover Dam. And we were being tourists. We might do that again. So I didn't source in Vegas last time. I don't know if I will this time. But I know, like, watching all of my friends that are in Vegas, the stuff is there. It's definitely there. So that's a cool part of it, too. So there's a lot. If you can afford it and figure out how to do it, I would do it. And that goes for any of them, honestly, any of the meetups.
I plan on going source when I go to Vegas. When I go down there, I'm bringing my GoPro. I'm going to go out and go find some goodies. So,
yeah. All right. Hannah said, Ari, sourcing online, what is your process or places you like to source? I've done some online sourcing using Gov Deals and other surplus auctions. I'd like to expand my online sourcing this year.
Okay, so this is actually a pretty new topic or line of action for me because I've always just been kind of hands-on, right? I go to yard sales, flea markets, thrift stores. That's where I would get my items, but being forced into full-time reselling now, I've had to branch out and think outside of the box. So there's been a ton of people who I've reached out to and asked this same exact question to. So I've been looking at online storage auctions, at different websites, Storage Treasures, Locker Fox, and I think there was one other one. But online auction sites like HiBid have come in pretty handy. I do a lot of Facebook Marketplace stuff. Buy and sell on there. I don't like selling on Facebook Marketplace because there's so many scam accounts and is this available comments and things where you're not going to get anybody to respond to you. But I've found I love selling golf clubs. I was super excited when eBay sent out their end of the year email, and I saw that I was in the top 5% of golf club sellers on eBay for last year. But I love to buy golf clubs, and I just picked some up yesterday off of Facebook Marketplace. But Facebook Marketplace is probably my number one online, if you want to call it online, place. But I'm now discovering all these online auction sites like HiBid and Locker Fox for our storages and things like that. So I'm still learning that part myself. So I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about that too. I might pick up a couple more things that I didn't know yet.
I currently use HiBid, so you can search for whatever you're looking for. I could just put in books, and any lots of books that'll pop up on there, and you can get some great deals on there. I mean, buy some big lots that people sleep on. So HiBid, as far as auction sites, that's what I've done. I have looked at the storage lockers, but I have yet to pull a trigger on a storage. I don't want to deal with all that yet. But HiBid, I definitely recommend that.
So I would search online for local auction houses that are local, that don't sell online. There is a lot out there. You may have to search like a 2 or 3 hour radius away from your house if you're willing to drive. And I will say, going to a local auction house compared to going to bidding online is a lot different, because you may have people in there that don't know books. You may have people that you're a book buyer. There might be something there that you can get super cheap. And I have killed it in local auctions, buying in bulk. Another thing too is a lot of people don't know this, that you can actually wholesale on eBay. eBay has a whole wholesale section. I used to buy on eBay a ton back in the day. Buy big lots. So I go on eBay, I buy big lots, not even in the wholesale section. Search an area you like, say toys, and just type in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lots and just look for big lots and make offers on them. Maybe see what's you can do buy it nows, or I would do auctions are ending and make big lots, get it in the mail, and then I would just relist everything separate. And I made a killing over that, doing that over the years. That's how I first started getting on eBay, sourcing for my house, just buying big lots of there, taking stuff I wanted from my personal collection, selling it off, and my whole collection was free. So that's another good one there too. HiBid, I've done HiBid. I did some online auctions, but Cats will be able to help you a lot more with this question.
Kat's gonna self-promote. I just dropped a video I put out of my top 5 auction sites. That is my number one way of sourcing, because I live in the middle of nowhere. Thank you guys all for saying I look pretty, by the way. I have seen your comments. I appreciate you.
I've seen all the comments too. Thank you. I appreciate everyone who made a comment about me. It's no one, but
everybody says what you did. So, like, some people miss this. I only put it out in one video. I've mentioned it a couple of times on here. I got divorced in August. So I've been single for a while, and that's what I did. And yeah, got rid of a man. That's all you need to do.
Life right now.
I am. So my top one is definitely HiBid. And I also like CT Bids. Max Sold is another one. I haven't done Shop Goodwill in a while just because it got saturated. Yes, Rod looks so pretty. Definitely.
Alex, your beard is amazing.
Did someone say that? Or you're selling?
No, I'm trying to make you feel better because they're getting all the love up top.
Oh, thank you. Yours is coming back finally, Shane. It's finally getting long again.
Do not tell your husbands I recommended that, please. That's all I ask. It did not come from me. So yeah, like I never did Gov Deals in Surplus, and sourcing on Whatnot is an amazing, amazing way to source. Not for the sellers sometimes, but you can get really good deals there. And I think that comes down to like how you want to source too, because like the Gov Deals in the Surplus, to me, that's like retail arbitrage. That's not something I'm interested in. I like the vintage, the antique. I like the estate sales. I like jewelry. So you need to kind of find out. Raw doesn't mean like a wholesale category, but you just search for like a big
No,
lot.
there's a wholesale.
There
They
is
have
a wholesale. There's
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna post it in
wholesale
the chat.
category on Poshmark too.
Yeah, hold on, I'll post it in here. Also, I forgot Shop Commons. You can buy wholesale for resellers on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm ready to post lots up on Commons myself. I got so much. My whole car is full of stuff. And I really like a lot of it's going to be like $15, $20 stuff, and we're trying to hit 25, and I'm going to be selling it for $4. So, I mean, it's cheaper than you could get it at most Goodwills, and yeah, so I should have some good stuff. And if that goes well, I'll start sourcing just for that after this first round, because I have access to those dollar clothing thrift stores all the time. It's just that a lot of it I wasn't picking up because it was under where I wanted. But yeah, you got to figure in your area too. I search for shipped. I do search for shipped, especially with the Southwest stuff, because I can't find it here locally in Florida. And I love the Native American and Southwest stuff. So a lot of that I get from out West and have it shipped here. And somebody was asking how the shipping works. I actually go over that in my video, but you got to be careful. Some of them are really good about shipping and they'll only charge you what it costs. And then others of them will charge you $5 or $10 per lot to ship it. So you have to be very, very careful and read the terms and conditions. I've even seen it as high as $20 a lot because they really do not want to ship and they are going to make you pay if you make them ship. Yeah, so make sure you read the terms and conditions on shipping. Make sure they will ship, because if they do not offer shipping and you bid, you are still legally required to pay and you lose your item. So be very careful with that stuff.
I was just saying another thing too is go to your local flea market and find sellers out there and find the ones that buy storage units. They are great people to network with, because if you know anyone who buys storage units, they are always looking to unload those units so they can keep flipping and buy more. So I know people that buy storage units. They have a furniture person, they have an antique person, they have like a home goods person. That as soon as they get that stuff, they call them up and they just unload that stuff right away, because for them it's the quick flip. As long as they can quick turn and burn, they can buy more.
That's a good point too, and I didn't think about that, Rob, because I actually just did that this weekend. I saw a Facebook Marketplace post. I bought these items from this guy, found out that's what he did was storage auctions, and all he does is vintage clothing. So I said, dude, anytime you get big lots. So what I bought was 300 double-sided movie posters from the local cinemas around town, is what it is. And I bought them for like 30 cents a piece, basically. And I'm just going to run them over on District, probably Dibbed It or somewhere, maybe lot some up on Commons. But I told the dude, I was like, look, man, anytime you get collections of anything, hit me up. I might be interested in buying them. And we exchange phone numbers, and he's now a new contact I have to source from.
Also, too, guys, if you guys do that, do not cherry pick the best stuff. They're looking to unload stuff. So when I do that, when I buy wholesale like that, I take everything, because I will be their go-to every time, because if I go there and take the best stuff, then they're stuck with all that crap. That doesn't help their problem that they currently have. They need to move that stuff. So if you're willing to, Kat does it too. Kat, when she buys lots, she buys everything, because we know as sellers ourselves, when we sell stuff, if we want something gone, we want it gone. We don't want someone to come in and just pick the best stuff up and leave us the stuff that we're stuck with. So make sure you take everything. You can always wholesale it off, lot it up, get rid of it, but I will tell you that your contacts will love you and will make sure you're the first person to call.
Yeah, you do that same approach with estate sales too. They don't want to move those books, so just buy every book, and they'll call you every time.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. You're going to take what you don't want along with what you want and move it, however you want. Alice wants to know, do you find you sell better if you do a video on YouTube? I opened my store in June and have not sold anything this month.
No, I find that as I spend time on YouTube, my sales go down. The more focus you take off of your reselling business, the more your sales are going to drop. That's been my experience. I love doing YouTube though. And I am monetized on YouTube. I don't make a ton of money, but that little bit every month helps me now that I'm full time. But 90% of my focus is on my reselling. I don't think the YouTube channel helps at all. I very rarely get any viewer sales. All of my support from my viewers come through super chats, basically on my Monday night live shows. So yeah, I mean, if you're only going to get into YouTube because you think it might help your sales out, you're just going to find that's not the case. That's been my experience.
Yeah, not helping me either. I think it would actually hurt me if I show that I got this book for $25 and then I listed it in my eBay for $60. They're probably not going to buy it because they realize I got it for $1 or 25 cents. So I haven't noticed anything like
So
that.
I would say this for my eBay store, it barely. I mean, I have viewers that do purchase from me. They are few and far between. I would say they are probably 1 to 2% of my sales, not much at all, believe it or not. And if you're starting a YouTube channel just because you want to help do your business or make money from it, you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons, because you're going to put all the time and effort into YouTube and you're not going to have that payoff, and it's just going to be a waste of time and you're not going to do it. Everyone here does YouTube because we love doing YouTube. We love creating videos. We love having that connection with our audience. We love building a community around us. That's the most important thing to us. That's why we continue to do that consistently. There's so many people in the reselling community that just stop after making a couple months because they don't realize the time, effort, how hard it really is until you break through those glass ceilings and get over those different humps along the way. I would say now on the flip side, though, if you're going to do live selling, yes, it will potentially help you out more with live selling than it will for your static sales. And the reason for that is people watch your video because they may like you or like your attitude, or you're entertaining to them. So being able to see that person that they normally watch live and interact with them, just like you guys are all here interacting with us tonight, that's a big plus for certain people. Also, too, you can show people this and they can get it live, knowing that if I say, hey, I'm starting everything at $1, you're going to be more enticed to come over to my sale and try to bid on something and get it for a third of the price or half the price than you would if I take that same dollar item I was going to put on Whatnot and I put it in my eBay store for $20. You're less likely to buy that item for $20 when you know that you can go to Whatnot and maybe take bids on it and have an opportunity to buy it for a lot less. So I will say it would help more with your live sales. You're able to funnel maybe some of your viewers over there, and it's not going to be a huge percentage. Kat just said earlier that you had like 20,000 or whatever thousand, thousand people on Whatnot, and you're getting 30, 40 people in your shows. So it doesn't help out tremendously, but it does help us out a little bit along the way.
Yeah, and some of us do better at viewer sales than others. I am not one that does well on viewer sales. I'm with Rod. I'm at about 2% as well. Mine are really low. And that's because my viewers are primarily resellers. And they're cheap and they don't want to pay retail. And I don't blame them because that's how I am. So I get, probably like 1 to 2% are viewer sales. And the thing is if you are starting and you do a video, nobody's watching. So you're going to have to spend years to build that up before it would make a difference. And that's years of hours and hours and hours that you're taking away from your eBay store that you could be listing. And if you listed with all that time, you would be making more sales in and of itself. And I agree with this. And I think this probably hits me pretty hard. And I haven't really looked into it because let me look. I have a lot of followers on my eBay that are from the channel. I have 11,000 followers on eBay, and people like to click my items. They like to see what I'm selling, and they don't buy them. So my click-through, sell conversion rate is very, very low, which makes my stuff look not appealing to the eBay algorithm. And so it probably hurts my sales more than it helps them. Am I saying don't go look at my stuff? No, because that's why I'm here. I want to help you. I want to teach you, and it is what it is. But I think a lot, and I've learned the shopping videos tend to get more buyers. You're going to have collectors, not necessarily resellers, where on this channel, I'm teaching and it's very, very reseller focused. So when you have the garage sales, the thrift stores, my thrifting channel, I would make a lot of sales because people saw me finding the stuff and they wanted the stuff. Not a lot, but I mean 2 items per video. Whereas on here, I'm not showing me finding the stuff, I'm showing me selling the stuff. So I think it depends on the type, but I really think that you might not understand the work and the time that goes in to get even like 100 views on a video that still probably won't help your sales.
I would say the hours that you would spend editing a video and listening on and posting that video up, making thumbnails, titles for it, you're better off spending those same hours listing more items on eBay, and you would have a bigger return for your invested amount of time that you'll be spending.
Yeah, Kevin is the only one that makes a full-time living from selling to viewers. So.
And merch. That man can sell merch, as evidenced by this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I've got one of those autographed. I'm gonna be putting up on one of my Dib Dit shows.
I think
soon,
mine.
just to aggravate him.
Listen, Shannon was organizing the shed, and she doesn't know like anything. He was in the giveaway pile. I'm like, wait, put him back. Put him back. She's like, why is there an enema on the desk? Like, but yeah, so I had to rescue him. Miss Bridget wants to know, what are your bolos? So throw a few bolos out at him. Oh
man, I'm gonna give you my number one bolo for the year of 2024. And this is going to be very specific, but the band Tool. If I think probably most people know who Tool are. They came out in the early 90s. I found a record at this yard sale I was talking about earlier. Alex and I hit up. We both killed it, but I bought 5 records for $40. I sold one of them before we even left Tennessee for $40 and covered the cost. But I found a first pressing of Tool's Anima album, $8 for it, and I sold it overseas for like $850. So anything Tool, Tool, the band, usually is going to sell for pretty good money. Their first pressing albums do really well. But anything with the band Tool is going to sell. So always pick that stuff up if you can get it cheap. And because I'm a book guy, Stephen King, the book Rage, it was written by Stephen King under the pseudonym, what's his name? Richard Bachman. Yeah, Richard Bachman. I don't know why that was slipping, but that is his highest selling book. If you can find one of them, you're gonna sell it for a lot of money, and if it happens to be signed, because there's signed ones out there, it's gonna be a lot of money. Those are probably my 2 biggest bolos. I'm always looking for Rage, and like I said, I picked up a $8 record and sold it for $850 overseas, so that was pretty amazing.
Man, I got to follow that up with Stephen King first editions. Signed, it's about anything signed 7 to 8 and higher for Stephen King, a signed book. But there's so much stuff to look at when it comes to books. So I would say Stephen King, Eastern Press, so leather-bound books. I pick up any leather-bound book. Eastern Press, Franklin Library, and there's other ones to look out for. But those are usually a no-brainer if they're $1. I mean, you're going to make money.
What about signatures? Why don't you talk about how many books you find have signatures in the front of them?
I find about one a week here in Nashville. I just found I have a couple different country artists. A lot of stuff like that comes through the bins here. There's country artists. I sold Donald Trump for $300 a couple years ago, which it probably would go for more right now. So
yeah, it happens. I buy a lot of books from Goodwill and stuff, and it happens. People donate these books. You know, they may not even realize it's autographed themselves, because a lot of people don't look at the first couple of pages in a book. They skip straight to the first chapter and go to read. You know, but a lot of these authors will, like, say Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble will have a deal with the author. Like they'll sign a couple thousand of these books or whatever, and then they'll be distributed and people buy them, and they don't even know it half the time. These books will get donated, and you pick them up for $1 or less and make some good money.
I just found the George Jones signed, so that's listed for $64 right now.
Nice. Yeah, so when you guys are finding books, make sure you guys open up and just look at the front pages. You'll find a lot of our guys, especially like garage sales and stuff like that. So for me, I would say, so one thing I would say, this is something really good for you guys to look out for. I actually put this in my video today, but I'll let you guys know about it. You guys come across DVDs, box sets, probably almost every yard sale, every thrift store you go to. What you want to look for is DVD box sets, DVDs that come from PBS, BBC, or Acorn. Okay, they're usually very limited. They're box sets, and they usually bring 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks a piece. So anytime I'm out and I see it, I quick scan through DVDs and I see those initials on there for the publishers, I pick them up every single time. Also, too, you guys find Playboys a lot of times at garage sales and when you guys are out in our flea markets hunting. 1990, I think it's March 1990, there is a Donald Trump cover Playboy, and it sells for $100+. And a lot of people pass it up. Yep, that's another good one right now that does sell really well. I'm trying to think what else, man, off the top of my head. Things
I have that listed, but I have it for the whole year, so I'm thinking, should I take that out?
Take it out and list it individually. Yes, list it individually. You'll sell it. It does really well. So that, and also Donald Trump ties. I don't care if you like them or not. This is not trying to be political or anything like that.
Yeah.
Everything, for me, everything's green. It's money. But Donald Trump ties, you can find them at thrift stores for 50 cents, a quarter, $1. And when I find them, I usually get anywhere from like 20 to 40 bucks a piece for them.
Dude, I preach ties, and people look at me like I'm silly when I say it, but Donald Trump, I forget the brand that I bought this past summer or maybe spring. But I was telling the guys in the locker room in one of our shows, but I found 3 of these Italian ties. I forget the brand. I'm sorry for those of you in the chat. Hit me up on Instagram and I'll look it up and tell you guys. But I paid 50 cents for a tie at my Goodwills, and I had 3 of these things that were selling for like $97 each. It was crazy. Ties, there's a lot of money in ties. They're not the fastest sellers. Donald Trump ties go pretty quick. But even the cheaper brands like the Ralph Lauren and Tommy Hilfiger and those, I'll just lot those up 5 for $20 and sell them easy. And I've only got $2 to $250 in them. So ties sell good, guys.
Listen, I tried to sell ties and couldn't sell one to save my life.
I got about 100 of them right now, not listed.
So I want to say, like, it's so funny because this happens. Like, I buy handkerchiefs and I sell them like crazy, and people will tell me they buy them and can't sell them to save their life. Like, it's really weird how some people can sell something and then other people, like, it happens. Just try something else if it doesn't work. I gave up on ties. I do still I actually looked at some today. Like, I do know, like, I know Trump. I know, like, the name, the big, like, designer names. So if, like, something catches my eye, I will look at it. I actually picked up some belts today. For me, because I don't find a ton of, like, high dollar bolos, especially like at the thrift store. Oh, speaking of pharmaceutical stuff, I picked up Protonix like canister today at the thrift store. So I would say the vintage linens and the pillows, they get ignored so much. And I sell pillows regularly for $30 to $50. You can pick them up for $1 at the thrift store. They get ignored. Same thing with like the linens, like sheets. Pottery Barn sells hundreds of dollars. Pottery Barn sheets, Pottery Barn pillows. Same thing. I do really well with IKEA stuff. I don't know why, but I do really well with IKEA. So I check the linens. You can tell when stuff feels nice. And then look up the brand. And I've even bought stuff that looks nice that like they have wrapped up, but I can feel the fabric's nice and it ends up being good brands. Like, you'll learn the more you pick it up that it will. So that's kind of a thing for me because of the fact Marsha's charging you a surcharge. You're over your limit. It's just ignored. See, Sherry said she's selling lots of napkins. Guys, I listed napkins yesterday for $80 for 6 of them. And I paid $2. I need to find the brand.
For another bolo out for books is the Becca homeschooling books. You lot those together, they sell into the hundreds.
Yeah.
So 3 of those.
And are those all? I need to look and see what those look like so I know. because I don't pay like a ton of attention to books, but I will glance at them. All right, let's see. Oh, I wanted to say it's so funny. I gave Marsha the link because Mark, not your dad's CPA, his reseller tax academy. I think he's only selling it. Last year, he only sold it in January. So if that's the case again, you only have about 10 days to buy it. So Marsha's going to drop the link. I thought we would get tax. This is not an invitation for tax question. I thought we would get a tax question so that I could throw it out there, but we have no tax questions tonight. So I'm throwing it out there anyways. If you want to know anything about like reseller taxes, that course is absolutely amazing. I've taken it myself. Anything you want to know, you will learn in there, like from A to Z. Are we getting snow today? So Brooke just messaged me and said that it just changed where it says we are not getting snow. So Shannon and I might take a road trip and go find snow tomorrow, like a crazy Floridian would. Why not? All right. The Camper's Great Find says, what is the procedure to delete whatnot sellers I'm no longer interested in watching? I think you just click on their name, don't you? I'm going to look.
Yeah, I believe you just click on their name and click unfollow, if I remember correctly. Or there's 3 little dots. I've done it.
This
I've
says
done it before.
followed hosts. Who do I want to unfollow? Okay, look, I pulled them up. I'm not going to show who it is. Oh, yeah, never mind. I did. And you just click unfollow. So you click on their name and click on. I'm going to click that because I don't even know who this is. And yeah, well, click on their name and then click unfollow. Patty says, if everyone promotes their listings, whose goes to the top of the page? Does it then become who promotes the highest?
I think so. I mean, eBay's here to make money just like the rest of us, and I think they're gonna showcase the ones giving them the most money. But I think it also is going to do with the item. If you're selling postcards, I don't think it's really going to matter how high you promote. You know, that they're not going to make a ton of money. But if you're selling auto parts or something and you're promoting it 10 or 12% versus the people doing 2 or 3, I think those 10 or 12 percenters are going to get the top spots. I think it matters. I promote at 5% on everything except golf clubs. I promote at 2%, and I do really well with golf clubs. So I might be talking out of my butt. I don't know.
Yes, I think the higher you promote, the probably higher you're going to pop up in search. I only promote at like 2 to 3%, but I'm selling one-off books, so I don't really need to put too much in promoted listings. When it comes to like clothing, I'll go up to like 5 on clothing items and stuff like that.
So I think there's a lot of things that play into it. One, yes, if everyone's promoting at the same amount, then you go to what's the next criteria? It's going to be how good your pictures look and your titles. So it's not just promoting. You still have to put out a good looking product and good listing as well. There is a rule of diminishing returns because you can only promote so high before you're going to start to see a drop off on returns as well. And you're just giving away money. So you got to find that whatever works best for you, but also too, it comes down to the type of items you sell. If you're selling mall brand items, you better be promoting high because you're going to have 50,000 other items listed on eBay that are going to be identical to what you're selling. You're going to have a bad sell-through rate, so you need to promote higher to get the top of that listing. But if you're selling something that has a really high sell-through rate, you barely even have to promote that item because that item's going to sell as is. So it really comes down to items. I am not worried about promoting my items. I'm worried about finding items that have a fast sell-through rate and good quality items because when you have good items will sell. If you ever been to a live auction like on like Whatnot and you see people bringing junk and they realize they're not getting any sales and no one's bidding because once again, it's not a fast selling item. But when people bring good items, you're going to see all those bids go super fast and super high. They're going to sell out everything. Yeah. That part never changes in reselling.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, and I think if you're at the same, I think that's probably also going to alternate. And none of us know truly how this is decided. You know, like if we're both at 10 and both have the same metrics, like I feel like they're going to like, you know, revolve that. But there's no way to really know. Mark decided to make it. Mark, I already gave somebody Rod, and I said I was playing the octopus next. So you get the octopus Sorry. Here you go. Dun, dun, dun. And then we have another one too. Squirrely Reseller says, oh, look. What is your average sales price and average cost of goods? You know.
You know what? I don't know what my average cost of goods is. I think that would be interesting for me to find out. But I saw that question pop up, so I went ahead and opened up eBay. And for the last 31 days, my average sales price per item is $37, 13%. And that's down 6.1% versus December. So I need to work on that, it looks like.
My average cost of goods is $1.59 per pound of books at the Goodwill bins, and I only pick up stuff for eBay now that's gonna sell for $30. I've raised it up.
Nice.
Our average last year, I think, was like $38. That's with shipping though, and my average buy cost stays at 10%. So I would say $4 into $40 with shipping.
Mm-hmm.
I try and 10 times my money. That is my goal. And yeah, I tend to stick to that. Look, hold on real quick. Sarah gifted 5 memberships to the channel. So if you happen to all of a sudden have a dolphin by your name, thanks, Sarah. And thank you, Sarah, for doing that. I appreciate it very much. Where did it go?
I wanted to ask you earlier, and this probably doesn't even need to be during the live, but you guys are still using StreamYard, and I switched over to EVMux. One thing I noticed about EVMux that I thought was cool is when someone would gift memberships, it would show me in the live chat who actually got those memberships, which I thought was
that's cool. Like who received them. Yeah, that's cool. I'm a creature of
$25 a
habit.
month. $25 a month, I'm paying.
I'm so like, I think none of us like change, right? Like,
well, they got these cool backgrounds and sound effects and intros and all kinds of cool things.
What's it called? I'm gonna write it down.
It's EVMux. Echo, Victor, Mike, whatever U is, and X-ray.
X.
EVMux. MUX.
Like MUX. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I love it. I've been using it for a few months now. Absolutely.
So I use it to record my videos too and do screen share. Does it do that too?
Yes, I do that on my card channel. All of my videos, because I'm opening cards, I have the camera set up and I record everything beforehand and then I edit and post later.
Okay.
I love it, and it's half the price since StreamYard went up.
Since they increase, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's do the kitty cat. We haven't done the kitty cat. Meow, meow, meow. Since Piglet's in here.
My wife would have loved that one.
Dalton is hiding there.
Mom.
Yes, son.
Mom.
Yes.
I'm gonna go get one more thing to eat.
You are eating everything today. He either eats or he doesn't eat. And Brooke told me he ate like 8 things this afternoon after school. He went to school too, and now he's going to get more food. Today he's a growing.
Growth
All right.
spurt,
Yeah. All right. We talked about this a little beforehand, and I want to put it up in case any of you watching might know. Has anybody heard? Patty said she heard that they might let the viewers post pictures on YouTube. And Patty, if you're still here, let us know that, like, if you mean like in comments or where, like where you mean that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I don't know why we would need that as a feature on YouTube, in my own
so
opinion,
people can comment memes.
And that's what I was going to say. The only thing I see it being used for is memes. But
Rod, did you get Rod got one of the memberships?
Did I get a membership?
Really?
I think so. That's funny.
I haven't heard
Scott got
anything.
one when he was live on the show. Scott was live on the show, and like somebody did it, and that same thing happened.
That's the second time someone's gift memberships and it randomly gave me one.
It's because he's always here. Carrie said, "Happy Tuesday. Just curious, how did you know when you were ready to go full time in reselling?"
That's funny. I was thrown into it by the very large corporation I worked for. But yeah, it's kind of like ADH Dave's story. I was making six figures and he quit his job. I got laid off. So I'm only a couple of months in, guys. I got laid off November 15th from a multi-billion-dollar Fortune 500 company, and I was absolutely terrified about going full time. And I was looking for a job and trying to get a transfer to a different office and all this stuff. And my wife said, "Why don't you try reselling full time?" And then it was people like Alex and Rod and some of my other buddies, Anthony, Dragon Master's Fine, and all these people that are in the chat here supporting us today that made me believe I could do it. And I just kept going. And it's been like 2 months now, and we're still going, and I'm having a blast doing it. I've got a huge support group via my viewers on my channel, my friends that I've made over the past couple of years that I've been reselling, and of course my family here at the house. And without all of them, I don't know if I'd have the faith in myself to do it alone. So that's kind of, I don't know if I was ready, but my friends and family helped me believe I am. So I'm pushing and doing it, and it's working out.
I was ready when all my collectibles took over my whole house. I knew that I had to do something so I just started selling them off. And but I slowly started. I was working full-time job, and I dropped down to 3 times a week, and it was a slow process to going full-time. So I didn't jump 100% right into it.
I was sick and tired of the corporate BS. I had a really good job. I worked in the medical field. I did medical sales and contracts, and I was making 6 figures a year. And it just got to the point where it wasn't worth the stress and all the other BS that comes in the corporate world. And one thing I will tell people is you're never going to be financially secure fully without working for someone else, because just like Shane just said, he thought he worked for a Fortune 500 company. He thought he was completely fine. He thought he'd probably retire there, and like that, you're just a number. And once you realize that you're just a number, and going full-time running business is not for everyone, I would tell you that first and foremost. But you have to be able to make sure you can pay all your bills. I would say having a partner such as your husband, your wife, boyfriend, or girlfriend that is there for you does help out. My wife is very supportive. My wife does work as a registered nurse at a hospital, so I do have full benefits through her, so I don't have to pay for my own benefits. So that's a big plus. You have to be very strategic with it, I would say, and you have to make sure you have enough places to source to get inventory. Something that Shane's running into right now. He can tell you how stressful that portion is. So for me, I loaded up. I literally had a full storage unit full of merchandise when I quit my job, because I was like, you know what? I don't care if I don't have to source one day for the rest of the year. Entire year, I could just list them there and I'll be completely fine. So I really set myself up for success. But I did that pretty much what me and Kat would call quitting quietly. We were literally listing in our jobs. We were doing the bare minimum for what we had to do because we were running our business. And we do that. So we literally worked 2 full-time jobs, but because we absolutely love what we were doing. And I got to the point where I was like, I decided to take a chance on myself. And if you don't take a chance on yourself, you never know what you could accomplish and achieve. And I will tell you, there is something for everyone who's on the fence, everything about doing it. When your back is against the wall, you will believe you have no idea what you're capable of doing until that pressure is there, to the stress where you worried about finding ways to pay for your family or put food on the table or keep a roof over your head. Like, I would literally work part-time jobs if I needed to. I would go drive Uber. I will go deliver pizzas. I don't care what I have to do. I would never go back to a corporate job because I love what I do. I love working for myself and the freedom that gives me.
Well, that's another thing that I didn't think to mention too. I always said, you know what, I'm going to give it everything I've got. And if I got to go freaking deliver people's Chick-fil-A to them, you know, to make the ends meet, that's what I'm going to do. But going back to something you said about finding inventory, Rod, if you remember correctly, the day I drove down to Florida for the ADH Dave's container sale and the A1A highway sale, that's the day I got let go. Can you imagine how terrified I was driving down to Florida the day I lost my job, thinking, do I really need to make this trip down here and spend all the money I'm about to spend? I was terrified, but my wife went with me. She supported me the whole way. When I got down there and met up with Rod and Dave and Carrie and Kevin and Mike Camparelli and other people, everybody was like, dude, you got this. You know, it's that support you mentioned, having around you, whether it's your family or friends or whatever, that is enough to you'll have faith in yourself whether you want to or not, because people are going to instill that in you. And yeah, just I was absolutely terrified. I was driving to Florida to spend potentially thousands of dollars that I wasn't sure if I needed to spend or not. And so far, we're doing good. So
You're probably more terrified because you're driving a Jeep and you had to pay for that gas too.
yeah, that Jeep's not cheap on gas.
No.
For me, I planned on quitting at the end of 2022. And I have a video on this, like going a little more in depth, but like Rod said, like lunchtime, like breaks, I was listing on eBay. I was building it up. I intended to stop working. I went from 4 days to 3 days. I went down to 2 days finally. And so my plan was work 2 days until the end of 2022. In February 2022, I basically got into it with my manager. It was actually over YouTube. And like I was answering comments on my lunch hour. They told me I could not be on YouTube and not the internet. They didn't care what else I was on. They knew I did YouTube. They told me I could not be on YouTube. And everybody else is on TikTok and Instagram and all this stuff. And they're sitting here telling me this. And so I walked in the next day, gave 2 weeks notice and said, peace out, and never looked back. And that was 10 months before I had planned on it. Did I have what I wanted in savings? Nope. But I'm not going to be uncomfortable at work. I don't like being told what to do. And especially when my job was done. And that was the thing. They're like, your patients are taken care of. Your charting is done. They had no complaints about my job or my performance. Somebody else in the community of my workplace had an issue with it.
Yep.
And that's where it came from. No issue with patient care, no issue with documenting, no issue with anything except for that. And so I said, nope, I'm done. Called it off. We were always short-staffed. I love nursing. I do keep up my nursing license. I do not intend to ever use it again. It's just being short-staffed and having to decide like who we have to do what for, and knowing that we can't do everything that really does need to be done is very hard mentally, because you're the one deciding who's getting ignored essentially, because all of them need something. And that just sucks. So that part of it I don't miss. And I definitely don't miss the politics and the BS. So I was not ready, and I don't know that any of us can ever say we're truly ready. And like Rod saying, you can't be financially secure working for somebody else. But with this, and I agree with everybody else, I would do Uber. If I had to, if my sales were crap, I would do Uber. I would go to the flea market. I would go buy a friggin' storage locker. I would do whatever the hell I have to. And like for me, it's a lot harder now because I have 3 employees. I have 3 other people that are depending on me to pay their bills. So that, and they get paid before I do. I'm the last one to get paid. So like, yeah, it's really hard. And the hard thing for me, like, so you've got all these people that have a spouse that has a job. my ex-husband never worked. I was the only income. I had no backup. It was only me. And
You had a kid.
I was
You
the
have
only
multiple
one doing it.
kids. Yeah, and you have multiple kids. You have pets. You have a mortgage.
In
You
college,
have
I have a
property.
mortgage. I have a lot.
Yeah.
I have a
So
lot.
I posted this comment up here because, like Sam said, imagine doing this without support, without ADHD
Yeah.
in them, without a community of members. People really are struggling to survive as resellers. You guys are examples of the dream. We may be the example of the dream doing this full time, but every single person up here struggled to get to this point. So it wasn't just getting support from other people. Even with support from other people, we struggled. There's times I could not pay my bills fully without dipping my savings before. I'll be the first to admit that. That's happened. As a reseller, that will happen. You'll have a bad month. Like when those hurricanes hit Florida, I had to dip in my savings. I had to take $10,000 out of my savings account just to pay my bills because my sales were in the crapper, I guess you can say, so like it does happen. We do go through struggles, but at the same point in time is this community is awesome. This is why I'm here every single Tuesday night, where Kat's here for the last couple of years, while we have guests on here that want to come up and donate their time every Tuesday night to be here, because the community is awesome. But you guys aren't just the ones struggling. We have also struggled too through that process, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
You still do. You're going to sometimes even through this. Sales will be down.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still struggling. Hell, my video I put out Friday, the thumbnail says the struggle is real. It's all about how my sales were down that particular week. It's part of the game. You're not gonna shine every single week, and that's fine. That's something I'm having to learn. It's okay. Breathe. Let's figure out why
That's the hardest part is to wait, because it's gonna come back up. You just gotta wait.
Like, figure out what went wrong that week. Try to capitalize on that if you can. In circumstances like Rod mentioned, when you got hurricanes ravaging through your area, or big storms, it's not a whole lot you can do. But sometimes you can pinpoint why your sales were bad. That particular week, and if you can capitalize on that, fix it, and get your sales right. But yeah, the struggles are going to keep coming always. There's going to be times where we all struggle still, even the bigger YouTubers that have 400,000 subscribers, they still have their sales days that aren't that great, or sales weeks.
Yeah.
And
somebody asked about insurance. Is anybody besides me paying for their own insurance?
My wife gets insurance, so the goal is to bring her home. So that is, I think, the biggest obstacle to figure out is the insurance for a family of 4.
I think I just missed out on that. Did I? Was it the 15th the cutoff? I think I saw, because I that's something I have to do now.
If if you had a status change, like if you lost your insurance, then you should be able to still do it. I will tell you guys, for a family of 3, Brooke's not going to know what to do next year. This is the last year she can be on my health insurance. She just turned 23. For me, Brooke, and Dalton, we are paying $1,000 a month through Marketplace. And it is not that great of insurance. Our copay at the doctor is like $100. It's kind of like, the prescription stuff's good, but none of us are really sick. We don't have like chronic stuff. So we go, like once a year. So I'm basically paying $1,000 a month, where if we get put in the hospital and it's $100,000 bill, like my max out of pocket's $9,600. And that can happen. And I know how expensive hospital stays are. Do I have to have that one? I could get a cheaper one. But I have Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I actually, I'm getting a Marketplace credit. That would be like $1,700 without a credit, to give you guys an idea. So it, for a single, it depends on your income too. I put out, we sold $170,000 just on eBay last year. So my income is nice. My income is more than it was as a nurse right now. So I don't get that much of a credit off my health insurance. So it's the whole, we don't get tax returns anymore either. I pay in quite a bit every year. So yeah, see, $13, $14 a month, Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's what I have too, with no credit. Mine would be $1,600 without the credit.
It's a lot of money.
But I have 3 of us.
It is. I'm very fortunate that so my wife worked for the same company I got let go from. All the insurance was under me. I made a lot more money than she does. Now I lost our family insurance. So I told her, look, you get my stepdaughter, her and my stepdaughter. I said, you get them on your plan at work and don't worry about me, because she can't afford to pay the insurance cost that I was paying, if that makes sense. I made a lot more money than she did. So now I've got the task of finding my own. So that was something else I was going to reach out to other full-timers about and talk with, and I just kept forgetting about it. And now I recently saw something about a cutoff date of the 15th. That's why I was thinking I might have missed my shot. So now I just can't get sick for a year or something.
No,
But
you
we'll
should be
figure it
okay
out.
because you had a life-changing event. So if you lose your job, get married, other stuff, I
But
think you
I
still
don't
can
know if
work.
since it was in November, if they would still let him. That's the
I think
only thing.
Yeah, I think you have
Did
an
you have
X amount.
Cobra though? Did you keep Cobra insurance?
I
Or have
didn't.
you had nothing?
I didn't, and that's on me too. I probably should have signed up for that, but yeah, I didn't do anything. I was like, well, at the time, because I was also thinking I'm just going to transfer. I'm going to transfer. I'll keep my job, transfer to a different office, and then so I wasn't really thinking about it, and then it was kind of too late. By the time we realized, oh wait, nobody has insurance anymore. I told Lindsay, I was like, just jump on it, get you in London covered, and I'll, worry about me later. And just kind of completely forgot about it until you guys just brought it up.
Yeah. I would say, Kat, one last thing I want to say to put a button on this before we move on is for anyone who's thinking about going full time, you have the most opportunities now for reselling than you ever have with Dibbit, with Whatnot, with Amazon, with all the selling platforms, Poshmark, Mercari, cross listing. Like, you are set up for success now. It wasn't like this 10, 15, 20 years ago when me and Kat first started doing this. Like, we had eBay and eBay only at one point in time. So there's so many more options now for people. So if you are thinking about going full time, look at all the different selling platforms and find ways to be able to make money. All different avenues is be the best thing for you for reselling there. Kat, you got another super chat here.
All right. Jay Pickett sent $10 and said, love your podcast and the input from all your guests. I learned so much. I'm retired and resell as a side gig. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I think we have quite a few people that are retired that do this just as like some extra cash. So, I mean, like in this community, there's a bunch of different, like there's people with the full-time jobs. There's people that are retired. Some people are just doing it for the heck of it. They like doing it. They don't, require the income. And then there's those of us that are full-time. So there's a bunch of it's cool to see all the different levels and the different ways you can do it. All right, I'm going to do the eagle. I haven't done the eagle yet. I always forget him. Okay. Hattie wants to know if any of us are doing any physical vintage shows, so like in-person shows this year.
I don't have any plans. I don't know of any though, to be honest. At least not in my area. Nothing I've heard of.
Like going to shows or selling at a show? I've never sold.
I think she's
anything
referring to
besides-
selling at shows, like selling at shows.
Yeah.
Oh, then I have nothing scheduled for anything like that.
Shane, since you just started, since you are no longer since this is your full-time gig, have you thought about potentially selling at flea markets when it gets warmer out in your area?
Yeah, and here's the funny story. People that watch my channel already know this, but this was just going to be for fun. But I had a video idea with the help of some of my viewers that I was going to go to Harry Tornado's little booth him and Haley have, buy everything, and then go to the flea market and try to sell it back to him. That was the only time I'd considered selling at the flea market before I lost my job. But now I'm seriously been looking at a lot of storage units and things. Unfortunately, everything I'm bidding on, it's either going way out of my budget or it's getting canceled because the people are paying for their rent or whatever. But I have a feeling when I do start buying storage units and things like that, that I'm going to accumulate things that I think will probably do well at flea markets.
Yeah.
And we have two very good flea markets with 2 miles from each other. So that's definitely a viable source of income, I think, for me in the future. I may try out starting in the spring.
Don't you know the trick is when you find a locker you really want, you bring your phone and you go to the actual storage unit and you bid on it in the parking lot. When you win, you walk in and you pay for it right away. So people don't have time to get to the storage unit and pay for it before
Gotcha.
yeah. What
That's
about you,
actually
Pat?
pretty smart.
I'm actually not going to be selling online. I mean, I'm not going to do anything probably in person. I may set up some card conventions. I do have some opportunities to do stuff like that, but that might be something for my card channel. But I don't know. For me, there's a lot of work that goes into it. If you guys haven't done it, bringing items to an actual place, setting up to sell them, and then packing up and bringing them home. So if I do go to some place to sell stuff, nothing's coming home with me. Everything's gone. I don't care what I have to do. Everything's going to be gone. What did you
Yeah, I'm going. Well, like Rod went to Renninger's. I went to Renninger's as well. Rod went Friday this past week. I went Saturday. And next month in February, the third weekend is Renninger's. That's in Mount Dora, Florida, for those of you that don't know. So I'm going to be attending it, but not selling. I think George is setting up in February, though, the Antique Nomad at that one. I don't have the patience to load and unload, and I don't have the time really to do it, for possible payout. And I don't like sitting still that long. So I don't like flea market, and in-person selling for me is probably like one of the last options that I would do. Okay. If you do not, we clicked at the same time. If you do not know, Scott Cha-Ching King has a second channel. It is Cha-Ching King Picking. So if you have not subscribed, he's showing his storage lockers there and what he's getting there. Definitely give Scott a follow. Scott said, I need to grow a beard. This is really funny, and I don't remember who it might have been Ken SSK promo. Somebody, because of this has been going on for years, me needing a beard to fit in, sent me a beard to wear, but it didn't fit very well. And I wore it almost like the entire show after I got it.
The bearded lady.
I've had a beard.
We can need to join the circus, and you're good to go, Kat. Second job.
I know. There's my extra income. There's my side hustle to my side hustle. Yeah, definitely need it. What am I, Scott? Here? I'm gonna give Scott my Gator one. Here, I hardly ever play this, but I'm gonna play it now. Backstory to that is I went swimming at the springs after I worked out, and about 10 seconds after I got out, that gator goes swimming by right where I was at. I'm not scared of gators at all, by the way. Tie my hair. Oh yeah, I could tie it like that. Make it a beard. Hey, Brooke will yell at me. I'm messing up her hair. Thank you, Scott. So guys, Cha-Ching King Picking, go follow him for sure.
Yeah. Good to see you, Scott.
Lisa's asking, is there a chance List Perfectly will be able to list on District? There's always a chance. I don't know if it's in the works. I'll try and ask and find out and let you know on the next show. I know some people. I will try and find that out for you.
There's a lot. People don't know there's a lot of money that goes into adding these platforms.
It's like $1 million a platform these companies invest in to add them to like List Perfectly and Vindu, and like it's a lot of work. All right. Linda says, what is the deciding factor on whether you list a book on Amazon versus eBay? It seems rare books you can keyword and they would sell better on eBay.
Alex, that is a you question, my friend.
I only put rare books on eBay. So as far as being a collector myself too, no one's going to go buy a rare book on Amazon without being able to see the actual condition of the book. That is the problem with Amazon. It's usually just a stock photo. So all my signed books, any vintage books will go on eBay. So that's always the deciding factor. And something that's like a $400 book, I don't trust Amazon to send that to their warehouse either. So that is staying in my house. I want to know where that book is at all times.
All right. I'm like, nobody else needs to answer. Hello,
I'll
Kat.
let him-
Wake up.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
Yeah, he's a book guy.
Does anybody know the answer to this question? Can you sell premium compatible toner on eBay in the USA only?
I've never sold
No.
toner, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's a bunch of listings probably for compatible toner, but you gotta be very careful with all those compatible like filters and toners and other things. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. All right. Marcella says she has 6 Versace tall amber glasses. Would you put all 6 in a listing or sell 2 at a time? Each glass is selling for $300 each.
I would send them to Soda City Flips free of charge and then just never think about them again. I'd probably do 2 at a time. Although you may be okay. Say somebody's got a set of them and they dropped and broke one. They don't need 2, they only need 1. Right. So that may be a way to think about it too. But personally, I think I'd list them 2 at a time.
Send them to me, not Shane. I don't know anything about glass. I guess 2 at a time. But that Shane, you did make a good point. If someone did break one, they only want 1. You know, you never know. But they could message you too and ask see if you'd split it too. So
I would probably sell them individually because if you're getting $300 per glass, I'd probably put them up there one by one. But I'm also not a glass person, so I'll leave the cat.
If I had $300 each glasses, would list them individually and put a quantity of 6.
There you go.
They want 1, they buy 1. They want 5, they buy 5. I would list them individually with that high of a value individually.
I think that's the correct answer for sure.
That's what I would do. Russell says, I sent the wrong shoes to my buyer. Each buyer refuses to send them to the other person. Basically, they're holding the shoes as ransom. I've had buyers like this. I'll tell you when it comes to me. Any tips?
Oh man, I've heard so many stories of people dealing with this. It's never happened to me, thankfully. But generally, man, I don't know how to answer this because generally, from what I hear, the stories, the people I hear about it from, the buyers are good enough people that they're like, yeah, no problem. You know, we'll help straighten this out. But unfortunately, if they're not willing to help out, then you may have to eat the cost of shipping them back to you from both buyers and then reship them again. Oh, that's tough. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I think that might be what you have to do.
Yep, I agree with that. To eat the cost and learn from your mistake, I guess. I've done it before too, and they don't want to switch books or something. It is what it is.
Yeah, the most frustrating thing is when you guys are in this position and one seller will send it and the other one doesn't want to, then you're pretty much just up the creek without a paddle. So in a situation like this, where both buyers are refusing to send the shoes to each other, then what I would do is I would tell them, you've already got the money from both of them. So I would just tell them to open a claim on eBay, go through the proper protocol and the proper steps. They'll have to ship the items back to you. If they don't ship any of the items back to you, then you got your money. Each buyers gets stuck with the wrong pair of shoes, and it's a win-win at that point. I mean, the buyers are being difficult. You had just follow the proper protocol on eBay. Don't try to circumvent it and try to have them send to each other. Have it sent back to you. I mean, it's going to be a cost of doing business, unfortunately. This is going to be a learning experience for you, but it's the best way to go through this because this way the buyers cannot open up any claims against you without sending it back. And you've already, and eBay can monitor all the chat that you had with them. And if you have any issues, say, hey, this is the chat. They're refusing to send to each other. No problem. Just have them open a claim and send them back.
Yeah, so it is not their responsibility to send it to each other, first and foremost. It is their responsibility to send it back to you and you to send it to them. I do always ask them, and I had one who refused to return the other item. And the crazy thing is it was an older guy and it was like a piece of jewelry. And I'm like, come on, dude. Like, And so the other buyer was nice, sent him his item, and he refused. So I ended up having to refund her, and he kept the friggin' bracelet. Like, I mean, you can't, it's a learning experience. It happens. It's only happened to us a few times. Like, we put the zip code, like we had 2 sales in the same zip code going out the same day. And that rarely happens, but it does happen. So we try, like I for a little while, I'll put like the initials on it and then I stop again. So it could happen again. Cause I'm like, no, I'm just putting the zip code. But yeah, I agree. Tell them to return it to you if they want a refund, and then you're going to have to resend it out or refund and relist and move on. All right. Hold
We got a
on.
big super chat here. Mike Mecco. If you guys don't know, Mike, he is one of the biggest supporters in the entire reselling community. He is great, and he has a new YouTube channel where he's going to go to all the different meetups. Like, I think he's going to Nashville. He's going to the Boss Reseller. Oh my God, Boss Reseller Remix down in Vegas there. So he's going to go there. He's going to document it, networking. But I have hung out with Mike multiple times, and he is a great person, and he's a great supporter of the community. So please click on his name, give him a follow, because it's only going to benefit you guys, especially ones in the chat that said, hey, I don't know if I can afford to go to these meetups. I don't know if I can afford to go. So if you get FOMO, you feel like you're missing out, this is the channel to follow, because they're going to be giving you lots of updates and information from there. So.
Yeah, and Mike is literally the sweetest man I've ever met. The dude is just a genuine person. Amazing, amazing man. We love you, Mike.
All right, Rod, what are we giving him?
He's too busy now. He's a famous YouTuber now.
Eeny, meeny, miny. All right, here we go. This is Gino's first one he made for me. Dun, 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 dun.
I always feel like I should be doing more for my super chatters after I come on this show, because I just go, thanks, guys.
Well, that's what I did forever. I mean, like, it took like a year before I had like my little super chat thing. And then I only had one for like 3 years. And then Gino came along and he makes me like this massive amount of super chats. And then Yvonne made us the famous Kevin super chat. And then Leroy and them made the Tim dinosaur one. We didn't play that one today over the years. And Yvonne made my gator swimming one too. All right. Nice. That is all the time we have. So we have a lot of questions unanswered tonight again, unfortunately. I am going to make Shane and Alex big, let them tell you what they have going on. Then Rod and myself will as well. And then I will look and tell you guys who is coming on next week too. So here is Shane.
Hey guys, so real quick, Kat, I'm going to point out something. Big, huge shout out to you guys in the chat for not pointing out that the Creep Show poster is crooked, because in every Monday night show that I do live or in all my videos, there's always at least one person yelling at me to turn that thing right. But it's an algorithm trigger, so keep those comments coming on my videos. But guys, just follow Soda City Flips everywhere. That's my username, no matter where I'm at. Huge support if you could come over to YouTube now. I'm trying to make that a liable income thing. So hopefully you guys, I noticed a lot of you guys have already subscribed. So thanks for putting my channel in the chat. But look for me over at on Dibdit and Shop Commons. Like Kat mentioned earlier, and I mentioned earlier, that's somewhere I'm going to be selling from now on. But eBay as well. But thanks so much, Kat and Rod, for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. Shout out to the chat again. You guys have been amazing. And yeah, I'm trying to go full time. I mean, I am full time. I can't say I'm trying to. It's been 2 months. I think it's
survive full time.
Yeah, I'm trying to survive full time. There you go, Rob. But again, thank you guys for having me on for the second time. I've had a blast and enjoyed this tonight.
Perfect. Here's Alex.
Shane, I didn't want to be the guy tonight to yell about the poster, so I kept quiet about it. And for your super chat, Shane, you instead of dolphins, you could do the merman.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
I
Anyways,
need to
I'm
steal that now.
Beard King Picker on Instagram, YouTube, whatnot, everything like that. And every Thursday, the Reseller Locker Room podcast, we drop a new podcast. So that's where you can find me.
Perfect. All right, Rod, what's going on your
So I
5
dropped-
million channels?
In my 5, yes, I have a lot of channels. I'm turning to ADHD, but like a good version of them. All right. So for me, I dropped a new video on my Picking and Punching channel right as this show started today. So go check it out. I try to purchase a big Disney collection of statues and figurines. Incredible. Not something you normally see in one place. So go check it out. If you guys don't know, if you guys want to learn more about sports cards, Tim from Over the Year Sports, and Carrie from American Arbitrage Cards started a card podcast that drops every Wednesday at 11 a.m. We will drop our second episode this week. It's called the No Banger Sports Card Podcast, because you hear all these people in the sports card world talk about, oh, I got a banger. Listen, we're the bargain box guys. We nickels and dimes make dollars, and we're going to keep it real and talk about what's going on and how you can make money flipping and picking up sports cards. So if you guys want to learn that and not have a lot of big investment, that's a good way to go. So come check it out, hang out, go like, subscribe there. And then I'll also be on Dibbit next week. I am selling off my storage unit. So I'm going to be starting doing probably 2 or 3 live shows next week. I'm no longer doing my live shows other than Disney pins and sports cards and whatnot. Everything else is going to go over to Dibbit. So go check us out. We'll be there in the district marketplace next week, starting to sell a bunch of stuff.
All right. I am hoping tomorrow to be live on knickknacks with some brooches as long as the weather holds up. And I think we should be good as long as my internet's good. And that will probably be about 3 o'clock, 3 or 4 in the afternoon tomorrow. I went thrifting today, and I am hoping to have a thrifting video out for you tomorrow. It has been over 2 months for my Cat's Treasure Hunting channel. Marsha just dropped that link. And then I also am going to do vintage bracelets, a research video on that. And then a what sold later this week. So next week, we're going to have my reseller genie. So if you guys have the tax accounting questions, next week will be a good time to bring them. We're happy to have them back on. And yeah, we couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you all in the audience for hanging out with us and watching us every week. Shane, Alex, thank you for coming on.
Thank
Rob,
you for having us.
Absolutely.
for coming back.
Thanks for
And we will
showing
see
up.
you guys next week. Bye, guys.